Hello everybody. Today we're going to go through another game, Cyclades, or Cyclades. It's a Greek game. We're going to go through it. So basically this game is based around conquering your other players by using the influences of the gods. Okay, and here are all the gods right here. And we'll be bidding for the favor of the gods to do various actions like move our fleets and our troops to gain territory, and really to, at the end of the game, get at least 2 of these metropolises built. Once these 2 are built, we finish the round, and the person that built these 2 metropolises wins the game. 2 players build 2 of these. Those 2 players will look at how much money they have, and the person that has the most money will be the winner, or it will be a tie. Okay. So let's go through the setup. Now the setup is basically on the back of the manual right here. And it says, for instance, a 2-player game, this is how you're going to set it up. And a 3-player game. And the board flips over. There's 2 sections of the board. And right here will tell you what side of the board you're going to be using. Now, we've set up for a 4-player game. So we're going to flip this over and look at this. And as you can see, it tells you exactly how to set it up. And we've already done that. So at the end of the rule book, that's the setup. Okay? The other setup is the gods. In a 5-player game, you're going to be using all 5 gods. Okay? In a 4-player game, we're going to shuffle these and put one out, and the last one we're not going to use. This is very important. Then, the next round, this will be used and will now be the starting god. And the rest of the 3 will be shuffled and laid out, and the last one will be not used for that round. And that continues until the winning element happens, which is getting those 2 metropolises built. In a 3-player game, 2 of the gods will not be used, and they'll rotate. So, for instance, these 2 gods will be put down here and become inactive, and these 2 gods right here will become the active ones at the top. In a 3-player game, after this happens twice, you shuffle them and put out 2 new ones. So it's not always the same 2 that are, not being used. Okay, so first thing, we're going to talk about the mythological creatures and what happens at the beginning of the round. These are the 3 mythological creatures that you'll be able to buy. Every round, we're going to, if this mythological creature, which costs 2, has not been used or bought, then we're going to take it off, we're going to put it in the discard, move the rest of the mythological creatures down, and draw a new one. Okay? Obviously, if all of them were gone, or 2 of them were gone, you would push this one down to this spot and draw 2 more. Okay? Now at the beginning of the game, we're going to start with 5 pieces of gold. So let's get those. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And put them behind our screen. Okay, so we're going to talk about revenues. Each round, everybody's going to get their money. So we're going to look for these symbols here, right here on the board. And these are going to also give you a gold piece for every one of these you have. So I've got this one here, and I've got another one right here, my boat's on it. So I get 2 more gold pieces. Okay. Okay, and now we're at the crux of the game. So here we are. I'm going to be starting player here. Just cheat a little bit. Now, because I'm starting player, I get to go first, and I get to try to influence the god of my choice by, offering them gold. So I'm going to go with Poseidon here, and I'm going to offer him 1 gold. Now also, right here, it has this priest, and it says if you have a priest, it will cost you 1 less. If you have 2 priests, it will cost you 2 less, right? Now, you always have to offer at least 1, but if I had 2 priests, it wouldn't be 1, it would be, 3, right? So I don't have any priests right now, so I'm just going to offer 1 gold, okay? And then the next person, green's going to go. And green could very well decide to go here and go to Aries and say, you know what, I need to influence Aries. I want to make sure I'm going to influence Aries, so I'm going to actually give him 3 gold, all right? So he's going to go, I'm giving him 3 gold. And then blue here says, Poseidon, I need him. So I'm going to outbid yellow. So yellow's going to get outbid right there. Okay. So blue has outbid me. So I immediately have to go somewhere else. I cannot outbid him on Poseidon. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go, oh, geesh. That really messes up my strategy, but I'm going to go to Athena, and I'm going to pay 1. Now, hopefully somebody will outbid me on Athena, so then I can maybe go back to Poseidon. But I can't go now, because blue has outbid me. Now, red, that's exactly what he's going to do. Red's going to go here, and he really wants Athena, so he's going to go there and pay 3, and I'm going to go, thank you, and immediately I have to go somewhere else, and I'm going to go, you know what, I'm back to Poseidon, here I go, and blue, you're out of there, right? And I was going to pay 5, but you know what, yeah, I'm going to pay 5. Blue takes his, immediately has to go somewhere else, and goes to Aries, and then green has to go somewhere else, and green's just going to go, okay, I'll go down here, right? And that's how the bidding works. Now, as you can see, that there is 1 god, which is Zeus, and he's not being used this particular round. Why are you bidding for the gods? Well, let's talk about that next, because they do quite a few interesting things. And let's start with Poseidon. Okay, so once everybody's finished with the bidding, we're going to go from the top down and activate each individual god. So yellow, me, I've chosen Poseidon. I'm going to have to pay, 5 gold. I give 5 gold to the supply, and now I can activate because I'm first. Now, what does Poseidon do? Well, Poseidon does a couple of things. First of all, right away, I get a boat to place out on the board. Now, I've got all these wonderful boats. Let's look at them, right? So there's soldiers and their boats. Now, I'm not going to keep these behind my screen. The only thing that really stays behind my screen is my money. So I'm able to place a boat out onto the board. Now I have to place a boat where I have a presence. So here, 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 here. Just because I have an actual, I'm connected to it. So once again, any of these spots around my boat or my island that I have control over. Okay. Now also, I can pay an extra $1 to get another boat, and then I could get another one on top of that by paying 2 more, and finally I could get up to 4 boats by paying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. Okay? The other thing I could do is a special action. And this special action says I can, for 1 gold, I can move ships 1, 2, 3 spots. Okay? And how that works is I can move this 1 boat, or if there was a group of boats here, I could move this group of boats 1, 2, 3. I can move them together. I can drop off. So I could drop them off like 1, 2, 3. Or I could do, pick some up. So I could do 1, 2, pick this one up, 3, right? And there is no limit to how many boats can be in one circle. Okay? The last thing that you can do is you can build a building. And this is the port. So over here, I could build a building, the port, and I can place it into one of my islands. And you can see right here that there's 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. And this red line indicates where a metropolis might go. Okay, so how do you get a metropolis? Well, we'll talk about that later, but basically, well, we can talk about it now. Basically, once you get 4 different types of buildings, so there's different types of buildings here, you'll get a metropolis, and there's other ways to get metropolis, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, you can, by paying 2 gold, you can place a metropolis down on an area that you own. Okay? So that's good. Now let's go to Aries and the blue player. Have a look at it. Okay, so Aries, mean guy, very mean god. He's going to give you soldiers. So he's going to give you 1 soldier right away, and that you can place in your district, on your islands. You cannot place soldiers on water. They have to be on islands. And then you can play 2 more for another one, 3 more for another one, 4 more for another one. You can also move soldiers from island to island if you have a boat chain. So for instance, I could move my soldier here to this island because it is these 2 islands are connected by this boat that is my boat. Also, I could go and invade Black's territory because it's connected. Okay. And that's going to cost you 1 gold piece. The last thing you can do with Aries is you can build a fortress. Okay? And that's going to cost you 2, and you can place that fortress onto your island that of your color. So you have to own that island. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about Zeus. We're not using him right now, but we're going to talk about him. Now, Zeus gets you priests. So, you get one priest, which is over here on the board, right here. And this priest, you get one of those. You can also buy one more priest for 4 gold pieces. Okay? Now, the point of the priest is to reduce what you actually have to pay when you're bidding on the turn order. So if you have 3 of these cards, that means that when you bid for the gods, you could bid 4 and only have to pay 1 gold piece. So these are fairly good to have. You can also buy a temple and place it on an island that you own for 2 gold pieces. You can also, now this is very interesting, pay 1 gold piece and remove one of these creatures for a new one. So there's 2 reasons to do this. Either there's a card out there that you don't want anybody else to have and you just want to get rid of it and bury it, or you want to see what's coming up next and you there's nothing here you want something else. So that's Zeus. Okay. And Ares is right here. We're going to talk about her. She gets you Philosopher. So these are Philosopher. You can get one. You get one right away. And if you pay 4 more, you get an extra one. So what Philosophers do is very simple. And it says it right here on the card. If you have 4 Philosophers, it automatically, you discard the Philosophers and you get a Metropolis and you place it out on the board. Okay, now if that Metropolis, if this is your only island, you have to be in that red circle area. You have to place it, and if there's other buildings there, you have to discard them. So you want to make sure that there's a spot open for your Metropolis if you're getting a Metropolis this way. And remember, 2 Metropolises wins the game. Okay? So the other thing is you can get a building. And finally, going to talk about Apollo. Now Apollo is right here, and basically what Apollo does is very simple. It's almost like skipping your turn, but you get money. You go here, first person goes here and gets $1, or if you only have 1 island left, you get $1, $2, $3, $4. Also, the first person to go here, because this is the only spot that everybody can go on. So you don't necessarily have to bid. You can always just go here and you don't have to bid. You don't have to pay any money, and Apollo's going to give you money. So the first person is also going to get, what are these called? Prosperity marker. And the prosperity marker, once again, are these things that give you $1 per round. So you're going to take one of these from the supply, which is over here. Here we go. And we're going to add them. So if it was me, I was like, I'm going to put this on this island right here, right here. And so that means that this island is going to produce 1 piece of gold every round. So this is great. This is very nice. Now, the key thing with this is only the first player gets this. Any other player that goes here, they get the 1 piece of gold or the 4 pieces of gold if they only have 1 island, but they do not get the prosperity marker. Very important. Okay, so in the rule book, just as a note, you've got the 4 gods that actually do stuff. Apollo is not here because he's the one that basically skips your turn to get money. So there's a brief snippet of what they do, and also the buildings that they give you. What they do is down here, and basically it's pretty simple. The port gives you a +1 in battle if that building is near the battle. We'll discuss that. The fort does the same, but for land battles. The port's for sea battles, for boats, land battles. The temple, the purple one, is very cool. It gives you the option, or the ability to pay 1 less gold when buying one of these creatures here. So that's really neat. And the last thing is the university, which does nothing. But once you get all 4 of these, you discard all 4 and you get 1 metropolis. You get 1 of these. Now, once this is built, you have to build it in one of these areas. See with the dotted line here? So you're going to have to build it in there, and you might have to discard a couple. Well, you're going to have to discard these buildings anyways, but make sure that you're not going to discard an extra one. All right? So now this building does all the same abilities. It's basically all these abilities rolled up into one. So you don't lose the abilities, but you're basically, you only need 2 of these to win the game. So that's the goal. Okay, so finally, the last the way that you're going to get a metropolis. Let's recap. The first one is getting 4 of these cards. Okay, and once you buy one of these cards, they go in front of your screen. And by the way, it's in front of your screen. Everybody needs to see this. And once you get all 4, you get a metropolis. The other way is to build those 4 buildings, right? And of the different types, and you'll get a metropolis, or you trade them in for a metropolis. The last way to get a metropolis, well, very simple. Invade, right? And you have a combat. So, to invade, the first thing you need is you need a connection. You need to have soldiers be able to travel to another island, and you need boats to do that. So to travel to this island way out here, you're going to need 1, 2, 3 boats. Okay. Let's talk about battles. Okay, so here we go. I'm moving into battle because I'm a bit of a knob, and I'm going here. Now, Black has 2 guys. He has a port, and he has a fortress. Now, the port's not going to do anything because the port has a +1 in battle if we're having fleet battles between ships. But the fort does. The fort is a +1. And he has 2 troops. And I have 1. So, we're going to now take out dice. And this is kind of fun because usually you don't, in a kind of a Euro-ishy game, you're not going to have dice. And dice are fun. But typically you can figure out the outcome. So what's going to happen is you're going to roll, each person's going to roll a dice. Well, that's not good. And Black is going to add up his defense here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. And me, 1. So what happens is, that's what happens. What happens is that in this battle, the loser loses 1 troop. He's dead. Goes back in front of his screen. Now, obviously Black won the battle. Now, if I had more troops than that, 1 would die, and we would go again and re-roll. Or I could retreat, or black could retreat. Now, black can't retreat because black doesn't actually have anywhere to retreat to. You can't just retreat to a boat and hang out. He has to retreat to another island, either his own island or another island. So if this boat was here, for instance, he could retreat to this island. Now, obviously, he's not going to do that because he outnumbers me. So once again, we're going to roll. We're going to find out. I'll probably lose. And, there you go. But there is this nice push your luck element. There is this nice little bit of fun. You can mitigate the risk by having more troops and having forts or 2 forts in an island, saying this is my home base, and then making sure that, that's where I'm going to put all my money tokens here and pile them all up. So, every round I get $4 from this area, but I've got all my troops here. So you can do things like that. But there is always a little bit of luck. You can run rampant, you can be aggressive. Okay, so let's look at ocean battles. Ocean battles are very similar. Once a boat, an opponent's boat, moves in to an area with another boat, there is a water battle here. And what happens here is we look at the points or the defending bonuses, and we see, and we roll the dice again. So here we are. Black has 1, and he has a port because he owns this island. So that's 2. And yellow has nothing here, so he just has 1. And we roll the dice. Well, let's say that one's black and this one's mine. So black has 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 1. Obviously, I'm blown out of the water and I'm done. So that's the battling of the game. Now, it seems a little simplistic, but what really makes this game is the monsters that you can hire or get out to help you, and they all have special abilities. Like you can fly in and take soldiers away. There's this one, the Pegasus, allows you to send troops over to another island without having your boats lined up to connect islands. So this can be very powerful. You're like, oh, I'm safe, I'm fine. I'll move my black guys around. I can spread out because red's way over there and it's fine. And then I get the Pegasus, and oh boy, game over, right? But because that changes the game, and there's all kinds of really cool special ones that are very thematic. Okay, so first note right here, it basically says that 2 armies, if they rolled perfectly, can knock themselves out. So these 2 boats, they can destroy each other. Okay, so it's not like the defender wins or anything like that. You can actually knock your opponent right, or both people can get killed. Now, if that happens and an island is vacant, well, that means you're going to take one of these little chips here. This is for the yellow player, and that means that this is my island, but I don't have any stronghold. Like, I don't actually have anybody here, right? So I might get the bonuses for the buildings, but I'm definitely not, there's nobody here to defend. So if a black comes into here, he can walk right in because there's nobody there. So that's very interesting. You can also leave your island, right? You can abandon it. Now you still get the bonuses, and you put one of these chips here, you still get the benefit, but you just don't have any any of your soldiers there. Okay, and one last thing about the buildings and buying the buildings. When you buy one of these buildings for 2 gold, you aren't limited to just one building. You can buy 3 or 4 of them if you wish, which could really, change the game drastically. And that is also moving your ships or moving your troops is not limited just to one time. You can do them multiple times. Okay, well, that's it for me. I'm just doing the editing here. So you've got a nice view of exactly what Cyclades is all about. See you next time.